If you can explain that a little bit, how that gyroscope works, because it's pretty significant.
Well, it gives you your relative, it establishes your relative vertical position so that when you synchronize with the bomb sight, you have a reference point to allow for the air, the aircraft not being perfectly level, right, and so forth.
And you do that with the communication with the pilot at that time when he hands off the control of the plane to you.
It's the gyroscope maintains its position after you uncage it. When he gives you the straight and level you ask for, and you uncage the scope, then it maintains its relative position and holds that position regardless of whether the aircraft is going this way or that way. If you go over 15%, you'll probably tumble the gyroscope. It'll flop over and you'll have to stop, go around again. In the meantime, realign, get your gyroscope.
Now that's what you had to do with on the Mayan Bridge. You went around. You didn't. They didn't see it the first time.
It had nothing to do with the gyroscope at that time.
Right.
What it had to do was my decision that we were the last aircraft and we had lost so many planes going in there, and I saw what the other bomb patterns were ahead of me, and the bridge was still standing, that I was determined not to miss the bridge. So by the time we hit it went over it the first time, I didn't see the bridge until it was too late, but I did see it and I knew where it was. So I said, we'll go around again, and which we did, and I got a good level. And at that particular time, the anti-aircraft was not as active. It didn't, and even if it had been, it wouldn't made any difference unless they hit us. But when I got the good level from the pilot, and then I synchronized on this bridge, and the bombs were released, I followed them all the way down to the ground. They take an arc and they kind of follow your airplane as they go down, and then they hit. And when I returned to the base, and the group bombardier asked me where my bombs hit, I said, "Let me see your marker." And he hesitated, and I said, "Let me see your marker." And I put a little circle right over the center of that bridge. And as you can see on the wall there, that's where the first bomb hit, was directly on the bridge, regardless of what the pattern says. Because the other planes that drop on your bombs, they might be off a little or late, or maybe early, who knows? And that goes into as part of your circular error. And even though the first bomb hit the target, you've made an error as far as they're concerned. So that sort of thing was just like a nonsensical game. The thing is to get the bombs on the target.
When did you remove your 50 caliber? Did you fly with the 50 caliber with Bob? Bob Rocket?
Probably. I think we probably did.
Because there's at one point you took it off.
Yeah, but I don't even know when they gave me a sight, Bob, because Bob was flying on the wing. He was a wingman at first.
Right.
So if you're not in a deputy position or leading the flight, you don't require a sight.
So you were a celestial navigator, and they had you being a toggler.
I had celestial training, but I didn't go to a celestial uh, school.
Oh.
I shot so many sun lines, and I got a recommendation, or what would you call it? A documentation of having done that.
Yeah. Like a certificate.
Yeah, a certificate. Another bombardier that I was associated with, we did it at the same time at, I think it was Lake Charles.
Yeah, that was quite a story with the Mayan bridge because of all the planes that were shot down that day. So for you to go back again, you were very determined to complete the mission. And that's what Clyde told me that you told him was, let's go back.
Yeah. Well, the losses were just seemed too drastic to not do the best job you could possibly do, since nobody is going to fly over after you. You're the last person that would had a chance to hit the target.
Yeah, some of the other planes turned around that day also. You guys didn't. There were only a few of you that made it. Well, that's amazing. And then how'd you get home? How'd you get home at the end of the war? How'd you get home? Did you take the Queen Mary, or did you fly back?
No, they arranged for me to come home on a B-24. So I flew back in a B-24, and it was a long trip, and it wasn't as smooth as a B-26.
Where'd you sit? And, I mean, were you
Oh, there's plenty of room inside the fuselage,
yeah.
because that's a large bomber, 4-engine bomber.
And you weren't carrying bombs.
No. I forget where we landed, someplace on the East Coast. Came back in something like a Tunaville trolley across the states to California. It was one of these old trains where the cars were all painted red, and the upright seats were not adjustable. And we'd watch the Pullmans go by with the German prisoners in them.
And they were making you guys, that was a real cattle car.
Yeah.
So is there anything more you want to add? You want to add anything more, or are we finished?
Well,
You got a particular story that you want to tell about a good mission or a bad mission? Or a good time in France or Paris? I know you went to Paris a couple of times.
yeah, well, you don't want to hear about that. But anyway, there was another target that I was impressed with, was the time of the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, let me start this.